Okay, so we are live, and I made some adjustments to my video stuff. So we're gonna see how this goes. Hopefully, a lot better. Yeah, I got like 3 computers and 1 phone, all set up for you guys. But we're gonna go ahead and open up the chat. Dang it! Let's see if this works. Okay. So hi, how's everybody doing today? Good to have everybody here. Look at people already joining in. And like I said, I got 3 platforms open right now. We got Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Let's see who my biggest supporters are. So I just picked the topic. What was it? Like, why do empaths and narcissists seem to connect, and how to break that cycle? So we're going to open up the discussion. You guys can talk about anything. My channels usually deal with mental illness, mental health, a lot on narcissism, because that's kind of like the catchword of the, I don't know, decade. And a lot of people joining in, and I've gotten some great messages from you guys. Lots of love. And JM is here, and Mitch, come. How are you, Mitch? And so, like I said, a lot of times people who are really nice end up being victims. Why is that? Have you guys ever been taken advantage of? It's a terrible feeling. You try to do something nice for somebody, or you think you have a true friendship, and you kind of get screwed over. Why does that happen? Why is being kind seen as a weakness? And thank you so much for the hearts and everything like that. That helps build the channel, brings people in, helps keep the conversation going. Mimi, how was your day today? Good to have you here. I was just saying how it's been nice chatting with some of you guys, but hopefully you had a better day today. Sometimes, just going to bed, starting the whole day over, but good to have everybody back. I love seeing repeat people coming in here, building the community. And it was difficult logging in because I've been having problems with my Facebook. So I set up a whole new computer and had to adjust everything and get the camera set up. So there's a lot to being a creator, but it's a beautiful day today. We did have a little bit of storms. It's kind of like hot and muggy right now. I only have air conditioning in my bedroom right now because I found this house. It was so funny when I bought the house. It was like, yeah, I want it. And they're like, don't you want to know what's wrong with it? So I got to get a new roof and all that kind of stuff. I also have a septic system, and I have to have it drained fairly often. It's like $460 every time. But my day was good. Yeah, it was just a good day. Got to talk to a couple friends. I got to watch it because I've been talking to you guys for a couple hours at night. And I think I told you yesterday, some friends were going through some stuff, and I was stuck on the phone for hours. And I don't mean stuck. We talked about that. I say the word stuck. I got to change that. I was happy to be there for them. But yeah, a lot of hours just talking yesterday. I did take my dog for a walk. But how was your day? How was your day? Today is what? Saturday. One more day. Well, we don't go back until Wednesday, but I think I got to double check. I'll check tomorrow. But we have to go to school. I think I don't know if we have professional development in the morning, and then we can work on our rooms. I haven't worked on my room yet. So I want to get creative and get the room decorated. Maybe I can do a live while I'm decorating my room. What do you guys think about that? Would you guys like that or not? If so, I'll bring some tripods and you guys can see my room as I decorate it. So you say, I don't want to go back to school on Monday. Is that just because you just don't want to? Or it's hard after the summer. You're like, I definitely don't. I don't want to go back either. It's a lot nicer just doing whatever, but it is good to go to school. You do learn a lot, connect with people. We can make it or break it. It's up to us how we handle our certain circumstances. You just don't want to. I feel you. I was like that too. Yeah. Do you know what you want to do later on in life? Are you custom wood burning? Are you asking do I do custom wood burning? No, I'm a burn victim. I would not do that. I might do some painting. I thought about dang, I should have done that. Like I said, I moved in here 2-3 months ago, and I definitely need to finish cleaning upstairs where all the paint is. But yeah, dang it, I'm all trapped in here. So you don't know yet. That's okay. That's okay. But it is smart to start thinking about it, because I graduated with over 100 extra credits undergrad because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And looking back, that was really expensive. That's almost like 2 bachelors that I paid for, like 2 full bachelors, not like an extra, whatever you call it, add-on. But I started out, I wanted to do education. And back then, I know you guys probably think I'm 19, but back then, it was really difficult to become a teacher. There were like 2-year waiting lists and stuff. Same with nursing. And so my heart was into teaching or psychology. And so I ended up doing the easy route. And at that time they had, I took a bunch of classes, also like dance. I love languages. So I was paying university prices, which I should have just learned it. But I was paying university prices for sign language, Spanish, French. So there's 3 languages right there when you only need one. And Debbie is here. Debbie, I don't know if you can in a little while. Check my Facebook. I got a whole new computer instead of the phone. It took me 15, 20 minutes to try to set up the Facebook phone, and it was ridiculous. I'm like, I can't. I cleared a bunch of stuff out. So I am done using that phone. I got 2 computers and 1 phone set up. But you wish you graduated already. It's coming. It's coming. I know. I feel you. So then I ended up going into nursing, and I was doing really well, passing everything, almost miscarried my daughter. So I had to drop out. My ex and I moved across state, and it was over 2 years before I went back. So hello, sir, madame, sir. I know, come on. Be nice. Good to have you here. So I almost miscarried, and it was over like 2 years. So I had to repeat everything, even though I passed it. And then they closed the school on me. So then I went to finish my degree in criminal justice really quick. I took 31 and 32 credits back to back, self-tested Spanish 2 so I could get into Spanish 3 to finish it. And I did that over Christmas break. I'm really good with languages as long as I study them. And then I went to law school, and then I was like, do I really want to be a lawyer? Because I saw all the tricks in the court system. I'm like, it doesn't matter what you know, it matters who you know. Yes. That's okay. I'm 6'1". I don't know. I like joking with people too. I'm like, I used to be a guy. How else would I be this tall? So I don't care. It's fine. Yeah, whatever. But in today's day and age, it doesn't even matter. It gets so confusing. Yeah, and that was a difficult thing. I was teaching women's studies, and with the change in what is a woman, that was so hard. And I'm kind of glad I'm not teaching that now. Hello from Georgia, 55 single, and Lorley. What does Lorley mean? Well, hello from Georgia. I am from Michigan, and nice to have you here. But yeah, we're going through some changes in this world, and that's going to cause a little bit more stressors. Lonely. Oh, why are you lonely? I'm glad you're here, because that's the whole thing, is that we get to talk to each other. We build a community. A lot of you guys are coming back, and I love that, because that helps, for one thing, build the community, but it also gives you guys people that you can connect with. So Debbie, I'm so glad you're here. And let's see if this is working. Getting to expand out, and it should work. It should work. I don't know. But you've been single for 5 years. I feel you. I've been single for, I feel like, my whole life. But I'd rather be single than with this is why I'm single. It's not that I can't meet people. You got 1 more year though. 1 more year. This is going to be your most amazing year, Mimi. And sometimes you get little privileges too. And I felt bad. This is I teach English as a second language, and so you want the kids to have like the full experience. And this is a learning thing. I felt terrible about this. Is they're foreigners, and I forgot to tell them about prom. I didn't tell them about prom, or we had a senior show up, and there's no seniors. There was senior skip day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do I have to let them know about senior skip day? So I think. But you own a large trucking company, 5,000 trucks. Holy smokes. Wow, good for you. You wish I could be your teacher. Well, pretend you don't know English and come on over. I do have seniors, so that'd be neat. That'd be neat. You're not in Michigan, though, are you? That'd be cool. Maybe I could adopt you for a year. And then, have you ever stopped to dance in the headlights on a back road? Oh, that'd be fun. I would like to do that. What I have done is I've gone to it's kind of like a mini concert, and we were like on the back of the pickup truck and we're dancing. So is that kind of close? Adopt you for 6 months or less. There you go. Just 6 months? Is that all you can tolerate from me? Debbie says, have you ever thought about getting your hair cut shorter? It's getting like ratty, but I'm going to let it grow and then trim it. But I don't look good with shorter hair. And I don't like it when it's shorter. I do not like it at all. It might need a style. It's a little ratty down here. I know. I would adopt you. I would. But, I don't know if mom or dad would be too happy about that, but I would. You've been really sweet to me. I thought about that too, like fostering or maybe darker. I know it'll get darker. I promise. It's just summer and it's getting darker. It's not the right color right now. I know that, but it is what it is. So I don't want to fry it. So it's going to get darker on its own. So I know it's got a little bit of like a rust tint to it that I don't like either. It's not the right color, but my daughter is really, really good at hair. So I just got to wait till I see her again. I steam up your glasses. But yeah, I agree. A little darker would be good. And I would come on. Just got to deal with the winters. I'm not crazy about the winters. So, but like I said, empaths do attract narcissists. And hello, Sister Golden Hair. Hello, Diamando. Is that how I say it? Did I say that right? I like that. Sister Golden Hair. Maybe that'll be my new, whatchamacallit. I like that. Sister Golden Hair. Trump or Kamala? I want you to guess. Who do you think I'm for? You know what we're supposed to do as teachers? Somebody posted this, and it's kind of true. I kind of hesitate. I would love to tell you guys who I'm for. You like Kamala. The reason I haven't said anything, for one thing, as a teacher, we're supposed to let our students make their own decisions. And I know sometimes my students pop in here or there. It's good to do your own research. I have my feelings. I'd love to sway you guys, but I think that's a personal choice. So I do have a strong opinion, but I want you guys to vote for who you feel is right. Isn't that crazy? I do. It's like, I want to say it, but I'm not going to. Is that fair? But you can share. What do you like about Kamala? Diamando says that the name of a 70s rock group. Oh, that's a song, right? Not a name. It's a song. Sister Golden Hair Surprise or something like that. I think I know what you're talking about. I want to, dang it. Debbie texted me that. Sister Golden Hair. I want to do something like that. Debbie says, we are programmed as young children to help and fix. And that's the start of it. I am so glad you said that. A lot of times there is, I'm not going to lie, there are female narcissists. Definitely. I want to do research on the background behind that. Like fathers missing from the household or things like that. But since it is usually more women who are attracting the narcissist, be the good little girl, be quiet, follow directions, plus the different hormones that we go through. Women are more emotional than logical. So I think that's kind of also the maternal instincts that we have. So thank you for sharing the live. That definitely helps. And yeah, it's been a long time. Debbie says, I never knew this stuff until the narcissist came in my life and screwed it up more. The other thing we have too is as females, a lot of times we're like weaker. We just are. A little bit more afraid to speak up. Also, you can even see it with kids. Like if mommy says, sit down, and then daddy does it, it's a scarier voice coming from a man most of the time. So there's a lot of dynamics. It's not just male or female, but size and upbringing and hormones and beliefs, even just across different cultures. So yeah, a lot of us don't know how to stand up for ourselves. And Bearded Dad Bod is here. Hey boy, how's it going? You having a good day? Good to have so many people back. And yeah, we get programmed, and that's where it starts. Whether it's for the narcissist or an empath, that the narcissists are programmed a lot of times as a golden child to shine no matter what. That's the only time that they feel love. And I've talked about this where sometimes, like, it seems like a blessing, but your little blessing, your little compliments as a kid could end up being like the creation of toxicity. So, let's say you're always the pretty one. Then all of a sudden, when you're not the pretty one, you're like freaking out, or you're getting plastic surgery, or you're doing this, or you're that, or being more provocative because, that's what you identify as. And Bearded Dadbot says, back for you, doing great. Oh, back to see me. Good to see you again. Good to see you too. Thank you. I know I took a nap. I was like, do I just go to bed? I'm like, nah, just take a quick little nap. So any toxic person, yeah. And like I told you guys before that I used to think it was like a bunch of BS, like this stupid like childhood, whatever. What really does our childhood have to do with it? But it's kind of like the molding throughout your life, and it continues on into adulthood. I think most of my trauma, other than catching on fire and just a couple little things, but didn't really have like terrible experiences. There's a couple instances in the hospital that kind of stuck with me. But Scott says, good evening from just outside Las Vegas, Nevada. Are you in Henderson, USA? 8:53 p.m. Nice to meet you too. I am in Michigan at 11:53 p.m. Just so you guys know, I will be going back to school to teach. And so my lives are going to be a little bit earlier. If you guys can comment what times work for you in your time zone, I'll try to accommodate you guys, but I will have to try to force myself to go to bed at like 10 or 11 Eastern Standard Time. And that's kind of what I've been logging in as. So Debbie says, I was the quiet one, the shy one, gullible and stupid because our parents don't warn us what to look for in people. And yeah, even being sheltered, I was sheltered a little too much. I had a good upbringing, but I was sheltered too much. Your friend lives in Catholic. What do I teach? I teach English as a second language at the high school, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But sometimes being sheltered too much. I am very book smart. I am not street smart at all. And it was funny when I took my teacher test. This was, you had a couple, but the first teacher test I took, it was kind of funny, sad too at the same time, but I got literally 100, 28, 100, perfect. And then 28, and the 28 was in like critical thinking or logic. And I know my ex, he was like, you're really book smart, but you have no common sense. And so my mom's like, I can't believe he said that. And he was spot on. I don't think he was trying to be mean. And so sometimes people say stuff and they're not necessarily being mean. It depends on how you take it. But I identified with that, like, yeah, that makes sense. So, other times people think it's an insult, but that's where the self-reflection comes in, because he wasn't trying to hurt me. He was just making a statement because I don't have common sense. I think everything's going to be perfect. You say, Bearded says horrible grammar, but still got a bachelor's in business. And you need it. Your grammar is so bad. Cadillac. Oh, Cadillac. Oh, Cadillac. How far is Cadillac from here? Probably a couple hours. But yeah, Cadillac is in Michigan. It's also a car. or is it a brand of cars? So Debbie says they set us up, but now I realize maybe they didn't know themselves. Good point. Sometimes, are our parents necessarily at fault, or did they try the best? Not everybody is going to come across this. And if you haven't been through narcissistic abuse, you don't, it's like mind blowing. If you've talked to people, they're like, what are you talking about? And they don't understand the trauma bond. Good point. And Bearded says everything now named after cars in Michigan. No, we do have Pontiac. Pontiac is a city. That might be it. Pontiac, Cadillac. Offhand, I can't think of any others. We got like a lot of Saints, St. Joe's, St. John's. Looking to move to Michigan. Scott, can I ask why? Is it just for a job transfer? You got family? Michigan is great in the summer and not too bad in the spring and fall, but winters, they haven't been as bad. Like when I was growing up, they really were a lot worse. Forward, LOL. No, that went through my head too. There's no forward. Water. Oh yeah, I bought a lake house. There's so many lakes here. Fishing. Got a lot of good fish here. We got bluegill, yellow pike. What else do we have? I don't know. Bluegill, yellow pike, bass. I don't know. Racing. Yeah, I'm probably, I don't know, 30 minutes from one of the race tracks, and then the other one's like 2 hours. Bearded says a lot of mosquitoes during summer. My friends at her house, who's 20 minutes away where I used to live, she said the mosquitoes were bad, but no, they were not bad. As long as sometimes around 10 o'clock they get bad. I've done a couple lives outside, and these little beetle bugs like being attracted, but the mosquitoes weren't too bad, maybe just at dusk. So yeah, and I know we all have these narcissistic tendencies, and some of our parents really did try. Sometimes they get overwhelmed too, but I know there seems to be a heightened sensitivity. Not everything is abuse, and we have to understand that. Hello, Phil. Good to have you back. Nice to have you here. And Bearded says, I'm an angler for therapy. Yeah, there's lots of... do you agree with therapy? Is that what you mean? Therapy can be good as long as you have the right therapist. Therapists can be damaging too sometimes. That's why it's really important to get the right therapist. That is so crucial, because they can do more harm than good sometimes, but if you have the right one. But we were talking about like the narcissist is sometimes they use it just for information. Also, like if they go to prison or jail, that they can find little techniques. It doesn't necessarily mean they're being recovering. But Bearded says fishing is your therapy as part of recovery. Recovery. Do you want to share from your ex-wife? Your ex-wife? Yep. Gotta love them exes. But Phil, what are you up to? But yeah, definitely make sure. And I know there's such a wave of this narcissism and self-healing that for mental health PTSD, yes, post-traumatic stress disorder, also CPTSD, which is the complex post-traumatic stress disorder. My therapist is, when you say that, the grapist without the G, what do you mean by that? Are you serious that your therapist did that to you? I hope not. Is that what you're saying? You have a masculine name, so it can happen to men too. What do you mean by that? Because it can happen to guys too. I know I have one friend who opened up to me in high school about that happening to him. And you can see later on in life the different like stressors, like he's having a hard time. Roberto, I love rolling it. And my mommy is here. Mom, let me know how the internet connection is. I hope you have a wonderful evening too. I set up my second computer for Facebook, so it was like super choppy. But yeah, my mom's trying to sell her house, so everybody say some prayers and wish for her. What did I graduate with? My initial degree is in criminal justice, and then I've also done like some. I didn't graduate cosmetology, but I also have like a nail tech license. I went to some law school, and I have 5 endorsements on my teaching certificate. So I'm certified to teach psychology, sociology, gym, health. What else is there? English as a second language, elementary. So yeah, I'm pretty well-rounded. So is that what you're asking me? What was my degree? Because you wrote what you graduate. Yeah, that's what I studied. I studied lots of stuff, right, mommy? Gotta love it. Also, I used to be a DJ at my university. I would go there and do the radio station, and then I go to cheer practice. Is teaching fulfilling? Teaching is the most rewarding and exhausting job at the same time. I used to teach aerobics, dance, things like that. I have never been so tired after work. It is draining. You always have to be on top. Elementary, I think, is a much more difficult. I am coming across very well. Good. I love hearing that. So Facebook, yeah, because my reach went way down, and I think it had to do with it constantly buffering. So I just am going to get rid of that other phone. It was not working. So thank you. Good. It's not my favorite camera, but that's okay. Phil, you got me interested. And if you don't want to talk about it, that's okay. Oh my goodness, yes. And Oswald, do you play Call of Duty? Because I gotta say, you a Call of Duty. Thank you. I've never played Call of Duty. I think it's my nephew. I think he plays that. Is that a fun game? Is that a fun game? My mom says, yes, you did. You still do not have as many credits as your mom has. Oh, I don't? How many credits do you have? That might be true. Yeah, my mom. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she was a teacher, respiratory therapist, and nurse. So I won't doubt it. I graduated 221 credits, and then also 12 credits of law school, 4 credits of master's education, and then like 700 hours cosmetology, and what was it, 400 hours nail tech? Over 400. So yeah, sometimes we pick up some of our parents' traits. My mom is extremely smart. I come from a very smart family, and so I teach English as a second language. And when she was sharing her story, she was talking about how she came over. You were what, 11, 9 or 11? And not knowing English, she spoke Dutch, and she was still able to graduate. Will be 14 or 15 years old, but they held her back from becoming a doctor. She would have been a great doctor. And I think, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, Mom. You know, sometimes we have that little hole in our heart. Like, did I achieve what I felt that I wanted to achieve? 11. You were 11 years old when she came over. And I don't know. What was that like? 15. Oh, you graduated at 15. Okay. So I know when I went over to China, being around a foreign language, that can be exhausting. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, Mom. Do you remember? Did you get exhausted constantly hearing different languages? Because to me, it can be stressful and tiring. Like I've done it where I've tried watching different shows in different languages. It actually makes me tired. So Scott says, thanks for spending time with us. You enjoyed my energy. Thank you. I try to keep it upbeat and positive. Bearded says, I coach Pop Warner football for my kids, Team Santa Clara Lions. It is kind of like teaching. Kind of like maybe teach more like gym class. Gym class was fantastic. Much better when it was right after COVID because you had such small classes. Smaller classes would be such a good idea because it's manageable. Like even the difficult kids, manageable. When it's in such large classes. It was really difficult. My mom says your mother lets things flow off her shoulders. Yeah, you're pretty chill. She's pretty chill. My mom's pretty, I'll agree with that. Just whatever. Just move on. But I'm very impressed with how you did that, learning a whole new language. And did you how many years have you done that? Debbie says, I shared with you two friends. Oh, I shared you with two friends. Oh, I'd love to have them join. That would be nice. Yeah, get the word out about me, guys. Help grow these channels. And I used to love, like I said, I was like a cheerleading, creative motion, and karate. I didn't teach the karate, but those kids were great. And it was interesting too. Oh, good night, Mom. I love you. Mom's going to get some sleep. So thank you for joining. I love you. I'm sorry I haven't called. I love you. I love you. I called you a couple days ago, but it was interesting when I was doing the cheerleading. I also sold because it was a business, I also sold t-shirts, necklaces, little makeup bags, and all these kind of things that said cheerleader on them. And it was interesting where the moms were like, would you like a t-shirt? And the kids like, yeah, I'd love a t-shirt. And they're like, well, would you like a duffel bag? And they're like, oh, yeah. And so they kept going. Would you like this? Would you like that? And the kid's like, I don't care. And so the mom's like, we'll take this. We'll take that. And it was almost like the mom was trying to vicariously live through her child, or to be able to brag, my child's a cheerleader. It's really interesting to see that, and then watching kids. How are the parents? Were the parents pretty good with sportsmanship? Sometimes the parents are not good role models, but yeah, it's good to have kids that busy. And we got lots of people joining. We are, again, yesterday we did such a great job. Top 100%. Almost every time I go on, the lowest I've gotten is 97 percentile. So 100% most of the time because of you guys. So we're gonna get big. And the bigger I get, the more chances we have to meet up in person. But I'm too small now to organize something like that. But I have something I'm wanting to do. I used to act a lot when I was growing up. But they have kids at home. See you later. Okay, enjoy those kids. That's what's important. Thanks for joining in. And thank you for the love. But, where was it? I lost my train of thought because I was reading. Dang it. Maurice Mo, good to have you here. What was I talking about? Debbie, help me out. Something about the cheerleading, I think. Where did it go? I can't remember. I'm still a little tired. But you were asking about teaching. Teaching is really nice. I will never go back to teaching elementary ever, unless maybe gym. I did art. Art was kind of hard with elementary students, kids cutting each other's shirts and stuff. You got to be on it and dumping glue and paint and not following directions. But gym was pretty good. Gym wasn't too bad, but teachers are so overworked. And we started talking about the mental toll that teaching takes. Like I said, I get exhausted because there's a lot of mental work going on. Scott says, I'll do it. Meet all of your fans just outside Las Vegas in your town. There you go. I wouldn't mind doing that. I got a friend out in Henderson that it'd be nice to just kind of catch up. Yeah, we'll have to do it. So I was saying, 5,000 on YouTube. Let's do 10,000. I don't know. Well, this is the thing. I got to figure it out because some of it's worldwide. Some people, and I don't think people, maybe they will, fly in from, South America or whatever. But yeah, Debbie, I haven't been liking the hair color either, but it'll do. It'll do for now. But posterity. Very cool. Hi, Chris. How's it going tonight? So, the mental toll. Why is it so exhausting? And some parents will go through that too, or caregivers, where there is a mental toll that goes on. when you're caring for people and having to, be proactive, constantly thinking on your feet. What does this person need? And keeping their needs in your head. What time are their medications and what appointments do they have? And there is some mental load that goes on. And we only have so much capacity, whether, you're a person who has no mental illness or somebody who is struggling with it, that we have a breaking point. And you're a CNA, certified nurse assistant. Do you like it? How long have you been doing that? I enjoyed the nursing. I love the like the bookwork about it. I love the human body is fascinating. But patient care sometimes can be hard. They closed my nursing school on me. So my last moment as a teacher or nursing student, last half hour, I knew they were closing the school. And it was so frustrating. I didn't have health insurance. And if you don't take care of a patient that you're assigned to, that they can fail you. And so it was my last half hour and I had somebody with tuberculosis. And I was like, oh, I was so close to quitting because, but I did finish it and took care of the patient. So, bedside manners can make a difference. And there's also like the medical narcissism that goes on. I had a friend, my name, they call me Elisa. She was not being heard. They were just saying that, you're just some crazy 20-year-old girl, like you're just emotional. And she ended up in a coma. Like they were not listening to her. And she nearly died. She was in a coma for several months. I had it too when I had mono. My throat was closing up. But I walk in and you got to remember, I'm a burn victim. I've had several broken bones, like many broken bones, stitches like 5 different times from little accidents. I was not abused. These are just things that happened to me, but they didn't want to hear me. They're just like, there's no way someone your age should have a file this thick. And I nearly choked to death because I went to the emergency room and they're like, I've never seen mono this bad. Granted, he was a young doctor, but to not be heard. And then the kicker of it all is after I had my daughter, it was the same doctor. And I had to suction my daughter's lungs out because she almost choked. I'm like, she's turning purple. She's turning purple. I had to push that same doctor out and grab the little suction her lungs out. Yes. So Scott says you have licensed PM. You have plenty of jobs here. I'm not, I have a license, but not as a certified nurse assistant. I know in Michigan, they have like a program, sometimes like nursing homes, if you guys are looking for a job, that nursing homes sometimes will sponsor you and pay for that. How many hours is that to do? It could be a good job, really rewarding. Very thankful for people who do that. Were you working during COVID? And if so, was that difficult? I was considered, this made me mad. I was considered an essential worker as a teacher. And, it's all broke up? Yeah, I got a deal. I don't know. Is it better now? Dang it. I can't, I don't know what to do. I've upgraded my internet the best I can. Maybe it's my phone. I don't know. We'll have to troubleshoot. Maybe I need a third computer. Oh my goodness, this is getting expensive. So feel free to donate because this is expensive to do. Okay, so you did work during COVID. So I was an essential worker. I was a teacher, and I waited to finish out a little bit, and then like in March or so, it closed, and then we went back to school, but we worked from home. And it was kind of nice as a teacher. Since I was a specials teacher, I didn't really have to work for like a month and a half. I don't know why, but the content teachers did. And then I was basically just showing YouTube videos of having the kids dance along, and I'm encouraging them and keeping them on track. But I got a $500 check for working during the pandemic. And hi, Ron. And we're talking about COVID, CNA. And I do want to talk about some of the trauma with that, because I got $500, and granted, I'm thankful for that. But my sister is a nurse practitioner working front line, and dealing with some of her friends died from it, some of her people in her clinics. And she would go in, and her family got sick. I have a cousin who died from it, but she was the one who diagnosed him too. And he also had influenza at the same time. But I got the $500, and I was working from home. She, who was risking her life, like legit, she didn't get anything. And that made me so angry, because I get it. It's nice that the teachers are still working, but even if we were in person, granted, as a specials teacher, I had like 860 kids, but like normally it's like 25 or 30 kids. And, my sister saw how many people that came in with COVID. So what are we talking about? Did you peek out for a little bit? We started going just different ways, but we were talking how when I was teaching, I got $500 during the pandemic, but my sister, who is a nurse practitioner working frontline, she got nothing. And, I think it was wrong how they required people to get the vaccination. Whether you guys decided to do it or not, that's up to you. But forcing people against their will, kind of, because sometimes you get to a point where you just feel backed in the corner. And Run says, COVID was wild. My dad had it allegedly. They were running around the hospital at the VA. My dad said people were dropping like flies. My 30-year-old cousin died from it. And I'm in West Michigan now. And it started in Michigan. When it started in Michigan, it was more over in Detroit, because that's the international hub. So you got people from all over coming to America, or coming into this international airport. And then they kind of like travel to the West, or people from Chicago coming into Michigan. But it was real severe over in the Detroit area where I grew up. So all my family's over there. And my one cousin was working, I think she's a physical therapist. I don't know. She's in the medical field, but it came home with her. And so the day that my cousin died, an hour after he died, his dad was admitted and like barely survived. He was so sick. And then the mom got a bunch of blood clots from it. So it was pretty profound. I still remember watching my daughter. She called me and she's like, yeah, I don't feel good. I think I have COVID. And she's like, I can't taste anything. She had some coffee and an orange, and she's like, I can't taste it. Like, what's going on? And that was back when that was a symptom. And then I'm like, well, can you smell anything? And she's like, oh, I don't know. So she tried smelling her coffee, and she just like, I can't smell it, and I can't taste, it's kind of, but it was real. It was definitely real. I think I had it in the beginning. I was sick for 6 weeks. Wasn't it was a little difficult to breathe, but not horrible. So your friend got it twice. It's well, they have a new strain, the flirt variant, and that was pretty bad, I guess. I think might be a little bit past that, but yeah, be careful. It's still out there. I think the beginning part was the most dangerous, like when my cousin had it and his dad and all that. And what was it? His dad was on the remdesivir. They were doing a trial, and I think that helped him. So Run says I was taking a Serapase at the time, which is an enzyme. Did that help? I don't know much about Serapase. It's amazing though. Just one little pill sometimes can save your life or do the opposite. I think the human body is like fascinating, and to me that kind of makes me think of it like a higher power. And talking about higher power, so dealing with like mental illness, things like that. Thank you for liking the live, Mimi, and showing that love. I appreciate that. But I struggle with what to say, what not to say. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Is that I feel there is some spiritual component to the healing process. Run says yes, it helps, and it comes from a silkworm. Also breaks up scar tissue. Oh my gosh, you can see, where is it? Right here. You guys can, yeah, scar all the way down my side and on my arm. You can't, I don't know. And look at that. That makes me mad. It's kind of hard to, but it used to be real pronounced, like up like that. It kind of messed my arm up. And then, yeah, the scar tissue. Interesting. I used to teach a class on the silkworm making silk. Ron says bromelain is good, also from pineapple. Kind of has the same effect. Oh, really? Now, can you ingest it, or does it have to be topical? Does it have to be on top of the skin? Sorry, my hair is so fluffy. It is a humid day. Big Dan is here. Nice to have you. But we can open up the conversation to whatever you guys would like to talk about. But that was definitely a traumatic time. We talked about in the schools where, we got our COVID kids and it has affected them. Enzyme, you can get a supplement. Okay. I like my little gummy vitamins. It keeps me healthy just because they're good. And Mimi says, you love brushing your hair. No, what it is I started seeing everybody doing their little get readies with me. And I just sit here and my hair is so much prettier if I comb it like 1,000 times. But I never do it. I never like comb it like obsessively. And I'm like, why not? So I'm not obsessed with brushing my hair, but it's kind of like, why not? I want it to get nice and silky again because it kind of closes off the cuticles, and I have kind of dry hair, so I'm not really spreading oils. But talking about long hair. Okay, so I used to think this was BS, did not believe it. I've always struggled. I told you before how like I caught on fire. I'm gonna give you a hair growth secret. Why don't you guys try it? And it is the best advice. Because I never believed it. I would not follow it for years. So if you guys want long hair, listen. So I did struggle with, when I caught on fire, I went bald, and then I had some surgery, so my hair got thin, and it's like a reaction to the anesthesia. And then I told you somebody held a lighter behind my head right before French finals, singed my hair. I also did it myself. I was stupid. I was playing with fire, which was dumb, and burnt my bangs. But anyways, growing your hair. So I wash my hair every day. Always have, and then somebody's like, you just wash it too much. And I'm like, what are you talking? No. And they're like, yeah, like I only wash mine every like 3 to 5 days or whatever. I'm like, you are crazy. I am not going to do that. Another lady that she said she washes it once a week. And I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot do that. And I started noticing the people who don't wash their hair all the time, their hair would grow really fast. And so I've had a shower every day. I still do that, but yesterday I washed it. Today I just conditioned it. So you gotta kind of be careful. I got a little bit of buildup today, but it makes a difference. My hair would never grow, or it took so long. So try it. It works. It does work if you try not to like wash it. And if I do, like, I am single, so it's kind of like, well, if I miss a day or two, that's fine. But like during COVID, I did that little experiment where I'm like, I'm not around people. Like, I'll just wash it every 3-4 days, and it makes a difference. Trust me, it does. And then when I do go back to washing it like every day, it does not grow as fast. So, yeah. Also, try not to like color it or use hot things. But that is definitely the hair tip of the day, because I've tried that. What's it called? I want to call it lion's mane. That's not what it's called. what's that horse shampoo? Something mane and tail. I tried mane and tail, but it has like a odd smell to it. I don't think that really worked as much, but some people swear by it. I think it just, this is my take, like it kind of coats it so it doesn't break as much. But look at all the love you guys are giving me. Is that for that hair growth tip? That will be the most effective, I promise you. And it'll be healthy and shiny and all that stuff. Not it. And no, I'm not obsessed with my hair. I do like it though. It's a good mane. Well, thank you. I am a Leo, but I just figure I do like my hair because I always wanted long hair. And like I said, something always happened. You'd like to see the tail, the mane and tail. I don't put conditioner there. Thank you for liking the live. I'll tell you what. What is it? Dang it. Okay, so if I reach my goal, if I get my heart puff goal, I will turn around. It's so shiny. The last 2 days, it had such a beautiful golden, like, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it was a super, super beautiful gold. But thank you. Your hair is so gorgeous. Love it. Thank you. I appreciate the follow. I'm trying to let it grow. And like you said, we'll see what happens in the next 2-3 weeks. If it grows longer, and like I said, it's fluffy today. I don't necessarily like the fluffy. It does have a natural wave to it, but then I, can't really comb it. And Run says mane and tail strengthen my mom used to use it. Did she have long hair? And it can strengthen it. Yeah. Do I ever braid it? Yeah, I can braid it for you guys. I thought about doing that too. I was thinking about that today. I could do a video where I'm braiding it. I'll braid it for you really quick. Super easy. I like braiding. There we go. We'll just braid it live. It kind of makes hair thicker. It does. It's kind of like a little bit waxy though. And it's not bad smelling, but here's this little Dutch girl putting her braids in. So yeah, it does make it thicker. Luckily for blondes usually have thin hair, so I'm pretty lucky how thick my hair is. There's that one lady who has, she does like little fairy, I don't know, she's like a natural redhead. Her boyfriend's also a redhead, and she'll do like these amazing little, like she's got the thickest, longest hair, and just does amazing like overlays with her hair, doing different, like she'll do fairy outfits, like Renaissance type stuff, but just the way she braids it turns into like, I'll just show you. I'll show you in a minute. But there. So there, I braided it. How's that? Cute. You like it? Little Dutch girl. Me and my little milk pail. And wooden shoes. Wooden shoes are not comfortable. My mom said that she used to wear wooden shoes. She's from the Netherlands. And they would wear like 8 to 10 pairs of socks. So then maybe it's comfortable, but my father passed away. My mom moved into like not really assisted living, like a retirement village. And so there's this pair of Dutch shoes, the wooden shoes. And man, I tried. Oh, they hurt so bad. Oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. Because I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a couple little skits. Where do I put my glasses? I have to have glasses or I can't read. Yeah, I did it. I almost never do that. It happened though. But thank you, because you're beautiful. Thank you so much, Ace. And I know what AF means, so I appreciate that. Debbie says you should do a chat about the narcissist and witchcraft. Want to open it up now? We can talk about that. And Run says it's been around a long time. They used it like a set on mane and tail of horses. That's where they created it from. Yeah, it used to be sold. This was like back in 1990, 1992. That era was really the push for it. And you used to have to go to like, I got one hair that's bugging me. One little, but you used to have to go to like the pet section to buy it. And then they started mainstreaming it. I think they changed the formula too, unless you maybe go still. I think it's a lot. LOL AF is a cuss word, and that's why I didn't say it. Hi from Missouri. Good to have you. I love it knowing where you guys are from. So Sally's, yeah, you can go to Sally's. And like I said, I did like the cosmetology, so I also have like a card for a discount. So but yeah, the narcissist and witchcraft. And Square Cut says hello. One little hair is bugging me. Square Cut, good to have you here. And that one little hair is gonna bug me. Yeah, I look like Taylor Swift. You remember that? But yeah, I was kind of sad. There's also something with like the paranormal and the demonic eyes, but as far as witchcraft, they like to control things, and with like voodoo dolls and little hexes. Or what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that your hair is so pretty? Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you, Mimi. But Debbie says I've been to Holland when I was 15 with my parents, so my dad could see his family. And yeah, I'm not too far from Holland. I went to that last year. Ron says period blood in food, yeah, to make their man crazy. I heard of that. Yes, menstrual like the blood. Yeah, they talk about things like that. They also talk about hair, how you can. It's so funny. Some of the little spells or hexes is like, so let's say I broke up with somebody and don't get revenge, but if I wanted to get revenge, they're like, take some of his hair, and I'm like, I don't even see him. You know what I mean? But be careful with that, because if it does work, you never know. Does somebody use a hairbrush? Are you really, but I believe there's some things with like the energy that goes on. I do believe there are some demonic things out there. So Run says I heard all kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's some scary stuff out there. I had a friend, I talked about this before. Hi Choco, good to have you here. Let me know. I've upgraded Facebook to where you guys get a dedicated computer now, so no more with that phone where it was all choppy. And Debbie says run, that's that is kind of gross. Luckily, at least it's cooked, but that is so not healthy. There are diseases. And Mimi says, how many pairs of glasses do I have? I probably have 38 to 40 pairs, and I'm not exaggerating. But they're, like I said, I got them at the Dollar Tree, and they used to only be $1. Now they're $1. I think they said they're $1.50, or maybe just $1.25. But either way, they're super cheap, super cheap. And dang, I did not like needing them, but I like reading. Like I need them. And I lost quite a 2.75, almost 3.0, but it went quick. So yeah, it was like within a year and a half. It went from just a little struggle to holy smokes. Because like I said, I'm 6'1", and it was like you kind of read. And then I'm like, oh, my arms aren't any longer. So yeah. And I'm kind of now, I wonder if I need like actual prescription glasses, because there's like a certain distance where it's like a changeover. Like I can see far away, and with my glasses, I can see up close, but I'm starting to have like an area where it's like too far away for glasses, but too close. I don't know. But LOL, give me some. Uh-oh. Dang. Diamando says, Sister Golden Hair. How you get so cute. Oh, Sister Golden Hair. I love that. I like that better than the Soul Survivor. And who was it? Mia used to always call me Sunshine. I love that. I love the happy stuff. And Ron says, my ex tried to cast a spell so she wouldn't get pregnant with a guy she cheated on Run with. She called her child after it was born Hellspawn child. Oh, that's sad. So, wow. How was she after it was born? Well, that's so sad. So there you can see, spells don't always work. So don't rely on that if that is not an accurate type of birth control. Diamando says it's raining in Louisiana. Oh my gosh. Is that hurricane still going on? Because Louisiana is somewhat close. You probably have some residual stuff. Well, hopefully it's not a terrible storm. I can't tell if it's raining or not. We've had a lot of rain the last couple days. Choices. Everyone's got choices, Ron says, and I agree. But that's so sad. I don't like hearing that. There's so many people that um, want children and others that end up with children and they're, yeah, it's sad because I had some miscarriages. I really wanted another child. And then you see people who, strung out on drugs or doing this. Mia said, or sorry, Mimi says, I'm about to go to sleep. I got church tomorrow. Good. I am happy to hear that because that does help, keep you grounded and on track. So, Mimi, sleep well, have some wonderful dreams, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Good for you for sticking to a schedule. I need to follow you. Do that. But I did take a nap. It's kind of bittersweet. I want children, have none. And that's hard, but it's what do we do with it? Life circumstances, just like me. I'm blessed I had one. But there's some pros and cons either way. So you're welcome. Get some good sleep. And Totally Not Nolan says, hello, I'm back in Pennsylvania. How was your flight? Totally Not Nolan is just coming back all the way from London, England to Pennsylvania. So hopefully you had a nice flight. It was good. Good. Did you get any sleep? Were you able to sleep? Captain Kurt, good to have you. But yeah, as far as the spells, I was going across TikTok, surprise, but going across, and it was kind of disheartening. There's this one person who likes to be called master, tells people to worship him, and he's asking people, they have to say this little thing and kind of like beg them to put a demon in them. And I was like, oh my gosh, there were so many people asking for these demonic spirits. Whether it works or not, who knows? But, they kind of talk about little different things that they feel. And Totally says, I love you, crystal lamp behind you. Yeah, I don't have it lit up. Would you like it lit up? Let's see. There we go. Is it plugged in? There we go. Little ambiance. Does that throw it off? Does that look weird? Tell me if that looks weird and I'll turn it off. But that's my salt crystal, Himalayan salt. I think it doesn't look right on TikTok. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn it off. Or I could do this. What does this look like? Let's get a little ambiance. Go. Oh, there we go. Is that better? Do you guys like that? I kind of like that. Oh, what do you think? Is that better? I think so. So Ron says, worshipful master, cult stuff, period. It was. And yeah, where he's the leader, he's just this person and people are following him. Do you guys like this? I like it. So you love it. Good. A little ambiance going. I'm trying to get, I've been lazy. I haven't been lazy. I've just been overwhelmed, but I want to get my little disco area where I got all these lights and stuff. I need to do that in the back porch. Do I read tarots? I'll tell you what, don't do Ouija boards. I could tell you about my experiences with them. It's not good. Not horrible. I am 6'1". Do I look tall? I am. I'm 6'1". But yeah, definitely talk about that. But the part is it was really bothersome to me how many people wanted a demonic spirit. Oh, my long arms are very long. Yes. And begging for this, for one thing, stranger, which demon is it, and I think it's just a control thing where they think it's almost like a superpower to, get what they want. Run says they have caps and stones all over the place. If you pay attention, the internet behind the energy is how it works. The intent behind the energy. Yeah. It was, and Run says it's raining in Washington State. Oh my gosh, it's raining all over. But Totally says they buy you some apple fritters and Krispy Kreme donuts. then buy some. I wouldn't mind too. No, I'm not really a big sweets person. I had that one miscarriage and it changed. And I take that as my little baby taking care of me. Kind of got me eating healthy. So that was the one thing that every day. Uh, is it S? Good to have you here. My ex used me for money and I paid for everything. She always said, your money is my money. Then out of nowhere, after almost a year, she discarded me with zero communication prior and blocked me on everything. That can be so painful when you sacrifice for people and, you know, think you had this like relationship that you're building. And Taco, I see you, yeah. But out of the blue, and that's what is so. I was born in 1970. I was born in 1970. But the zero communication, you know, you invest in someone, you know, there's good and bad times with any relationship, but were there any red flags looking back? Like, did she start withdrawing, or sometimes it is 100% out of the blue, and I'm sorry. Yeah, your money is my money. Did she work at all? Did she contribute at all? Or was she at least thankful? Or when you went out to dinner, did she get the most expensive thing? That can break your heart when there's no, that ghosting, that is extremely hard. And I'll tell you, totally not Nolan in a second. She said I screwed up the relationship and I got manipulated into giving her thousands of dollars, and she never said thank you or took any accountability. We ended up meeting in person 3 months later. How did that go? How did that go? She was on her phone taking video calls and watching YouTube at dinner and got the most expensive thing. Yeah. A lot of times, to me, that's kind of a red flag. You know, if I go out, I don't try to get like the most expensive thing. You know, I love steak, but, you know, so sometimes you're supposed to kind of like judge it, you know. Or if you do get the steak, you know, get like a 6 ounce. So you don't have to get like the 32-ounce steak. Ron says I was offered to check out some places with stones. One is in Colorado. They use these places. Capital of the United States has bunch, though out the city places, specifically geometry, ain't just geometry. What kind of stones are you talking about? Are you talking about like Reiki stones or whatever they're called? Let me scroll up. You guys should see my new setup. I'm so squished in here. They have caps and stones all over the place. Control without knowing you're controlled. Good point. So how did it go when you met up? Debbie says the covert narcissist is trying to hang on to me because I'm an empath. Yeah, that's where markers. Oh, the markers. My dad was really studying that. Some are in buildings. But there's stuff too with like mathematical, with the geometric stuff. Some are outside, some are in buildings. I says she was late an hour and I waited outside alone and traveled an hour away. We met in the restaurant. She told me to bring her birthday gifts since I missed it. $500. She didn't talk to me at all. Oh gosh. Yeah. And that's the thing, when somebody starts like telling you what to spend, or, you know, putting conditions on things, like a gift is a bonus. She didn't even talk to you. You got to pay attention too, though, when people aren't talking to you. I know sometimes we want to make it better, but there are times you're like, you know, screw this. But that's like our good heart. We want to help people. You were born in the 60s. 1967, not too far from me. You're just a 3-year. And hello from Texas. Nice to have you here. I am in Michigan. So we don't even know each other. What do you mean? Then she said we would talk, and she continued to blame me for everything and said, if we want to work things out, I have to take her to dates. But she'll never come over again, and said we don't even know each other. I told her I missed her and I loved her and cared about her and never gave up on her. I don't understand any of this. And all she said was, okay. Run says some are in memory of a person. Their works otherwise are placed for other reasons. Did you get an energy off of them? Did you feel and a sense of energy? You meant to say 1966, so not that far away. not that far away. And we'll talk about some childhood memories in a minute. But then she kept saying she was tired and told me to call my Uber home. After that, she blocked me off everything. She just be glad she's gone, but it lingers. Our hearts are tied up in these things. My hair is bugging me. It's itchy. Uh, yeah, being blocked and not understanding, like, what did I do? I just gave you gifts, or and then what does she mean by we don't even know each other? Because you said you had a relationship. Was it like a internet kind of relationship, or dating? How often did you see each other? A lot of times too, they have somebody off in the background. And that's why it gets so confusing, because in a sense they're kind of confused or trying to hide secrets, and they're wishy-washy, and it's that instability. That instability is part of that trauma bond that happens, which is so crazy, because we're investing, but they don't feel the pain as much as we do, because they didn't truly invest, and their mind's kind of scattered. And it's all about that supply. And Run says, so now I am always on the lookout for certain markings and stones. They wanted to show me them through history. My city has them also, but I've never seen them out. It just moved. I got to catch up. Where did it go? I've never. Hold on. It just bebopped. So I will catch up. She came over every weekend and moved in her stuff for almost a year. Okay. Every weekend was 500 or more. I helped her with bills, groceries, rides to everything, and interviews, things like that. She said I did the bare minimum. Oh my gosh. And she said I didn't pay for her nails. Well, if you did or didn't, like, you were taking care of her. Be careful of the people that don't have a place to stay. There are times, I don't judge people if they're staying at their parents'. Some, like my ex, did that, where he also went to take care of his dad, but he was like saving up money to get a down payment on a house. We were also much, much younger. And then I was older, like 45 or something. I moved back to my parents' house to take care of my parents. So I quit my job to do that, because it was my dad, my 98-and-a-half-year-old grandfather, and my mom also had breast cancer and things like that at the same time, taking care of 3 people. So, judging somebody, if there's a reason, or if, somebody just goes through a divorce, sometimes that can wipe you out, or custody battles. But when somebody just has like no reason, that they're just kind of going relationship to relationship, that is an extreme red flag. And especially when they're not grateful, or, nails get expensive, and then to say you did the bare minimum. And even if you did, that's kind of, she should have some appreciation for it too, though. Because does she contribute anything? Debbie says, I don't love the narcissist anymore because it was all him making me feel that way. Once I started my healing journey, I feel nothing for him. Debbie, how long would you say? Would you say it was like 2 years to get over him? Because I know a lot of people are like, when is this going to get better? When am I going to stop hurting? It changes. It depends on who the person is, how long you were with them, how invested, your type of personality. Some people get over it fairly quickly. Some are devastated, or almost like never heal from it, because they're not taking the steps to heal from it. There is a lesson in it, and it will, if you learn that lesson, it will make you better for it. It sucks, but it's part of growth. And some people, without the self-reflection and understanding your self-worth, that you're just going to attract the same thing again. And we really want to avoid that. Just so you guys know, I have 3 platforms open. So all right, let me finish this up. Give me 3 minutes, and then I'll talk about childhood memories. So it just happened on them pretty much. But when I was traveling, people approached me to show me for some odd reason. And what's your favorite thing about them? What have you learned from them? She constantly said, Why don't you give me money? I still feel like it's my fault. She changed overnight. She didn't contribute anything. And, when people are demanding like that, and what was her purpose? Like, did she need, I mean, sometimes we need clothes or maxi pads or tampons, but if she's just demanding money, um, you know, um, just to, you know, I think that's a red flag, you know, uh, that's hard. So Ron says, I just keep prayer on me. And yeah, we'll talk about the spiritual component. I got 30 more seconds and I'll tell you. Runs BLO. Okay. How are you? How's it going, Blow? Debbie says probably 2 years. That's what I think. And Ron says, I like my peace. Yeah, so once you get past the pain of the situation, you're like, whew, I like it much better. Yeah, sometimes we become survivors. So S says, I paid for everything. She told me she wasn't coming anymore if I don't pay for her Ubers. And that's just an entitled person. There are times that people can't afford it, and it's not necessarily, but yeah, and sometimes we, do we take on that responsibility? I'm so devastated and shocked over this. What was her financial situation? Why didn't she have money? Why did she need your money so much? Let's look a little more into this, Childhood memories. I promise you some childhood memories. Like I said, I am a burn victim. That was not a good one. I remember falling off of a a playground merry-go-round, falling in the mud. But I used to play little different things with my sisters. For whatever reason, we played orphanage because Annie, the play, Annie was really big. So my sister actually ended up being in that play later on. But we would play orphanage, and I loved, what is it? Lookout Mountain? Or is it, what mountain? With, now her name, Tia? Maybe that was her name in it. That was like, I just loved the feel of that, like playing like space. It wasn't Space Mountain. I can't remember, but I've been watching the Brady Bunch lately. I'm addicted to the Brady Bunch. Totally says, do you have a picture of you when you were little? Right now, the only one I have is, this is my senior picture. I'll show you that. That's my senior picture. There's my senior picture. So I'll have to get, there's Cynthia Michelle. So 17 there. I'll have to get some. That's just what I have down here. Upper Michigan, Phil. Let me catch up on that, Phil. Are you in Upper Michigan? Run says, but they don't like the knowing you had the anointment. They're okay as long as you stay. Yeah. Debbie says, I've known him for almost 10 years. Once I saw the first red flag, that gave me looking him up, and here I am. I'm his worst nightmare. Educated empath. Yeah, once we find out, totally. Thank you so much. Totally says I was pretty. And Bruce, hello from Johnson City, Tennessee. I used to live in Antioch and Murfreesboro. Is it Lebanon? Is that what? That's not sounding right now. But yeah, Lebanon, right? Yeah, that's where I lived. So, is it 37129? Is that the right? But yeah, Tennessee is really nice. As she ended up telling me she wasn't a citizen of my country and her time was running out after a few months. Is that the truth? Sometimes it could be. Sometimes they are in like desperate mode. They're just trying to survive. Be careful with people who are just trying to survive. A lot of those type of people will use people. It's like a desperation mode. And did you find out, was that the truth? So Upper Michigan. Like the UP? Uber? Are you a Uber? Run says, peace be the journey, but I can date I can't date just any person anymore because of the works They do. Isolation becomes the norm. Narcs are us used to use us how most of narcs are us is how most of them are. Mental programming is the norm. And what's crazy though, yeah, Tennessee's beautiful. But the programming that they do is because of their inconsistencies. It is not always purposeful. So the trauma that we go through, like they're in and out and committed and not committed and lying to us, and it does something to your brain because you're used to, we have to evaluate what is safe for us. And don't worry about the typos. Usually pretty good, not always, but usually pretty good. It was the truth that she was going back to her home country. She kept telling me, you better have a plan. What's your plan? Did she want to marry you? Do you think she was trying to marry me to get her citizenship, then divorce me and take all my money? Be careful with that. I had a friend, she married somebody from Canada, and I don't even think it lasted 4 months. It was such a toxic relationship. They met in person 3 times and got married. Yeah, people that are in that desperate mode. I even knew people who they were paying like $20,000 if you married their family member. I didn't do it, but so how did you meet her? Was she already in the country? I spent over $25,000 in the last year dates and giving her money. That's a lot of money. Luckily, it ended because that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money, and especially not to be thanked or at least appreciated. That hurts, sometimes we start giving more because we feel if we just try harder, and we're actually like enabling and digging our hole deeper. Run says, I know someone who did that too. My ex, her family tried to get her to marry her cousin. Yeah, sometimes, people want the citizenship. And it's different if they're like upfront about it. Like, look, we'll just be platonic. But I think in America, it's like 7 years. You have to be with the person. They have to sponsor. Maybe it's even 10 years, but it's like 7 years. Otherwise, they can get deported. I also had a friend. She fell in love with somebody from Australia and ended up like screwing her credit up. She's like, screw it. I'm moving to Australia. I don't need all these like American credit cards. And she gave up her horse. She loved her horse, but she loved this man more. And she ended up going to Australia. And then he was like, never mind. So she really couldn't come back to the United States because she burned her bridges so bad and like screwed up her, I think, professional license too, like maybe just letting it lapse, or I don't know. But so S says, I met her on a dating app. Dating apps, man, I know some people have some good turnouts from that, but it's not a good setup. It's almost like shopping, and it also it's more superficial a lot of times. Is a person cute, sexy? Also, they can kind of evaluate. Do they think that you might be more desperate? Based, sometimes off of looks. They're like, oh, they probably can't get anybody. So they'll target people, or it gives them the stuff that they need to know to manipulate you. And so do narcs usually give cheap gifts? It can be expensive. It can be cheap, or none, it can be anything. It can be anything. Now, there are times that they'll, depends on who it is. Like, let's say there's a narc and they want to sleep with me. They might buy me like something really nice. But if they have an in with like Taylor Swift, they might be like, oh, I need to spend more money to impress her. And they'll evaluate it that way too sometimes. All about the citizenship. Yeah. Or perks. Yeah. Citizenship or perks. Debbie says, SI, no one needs a toxic narcissist in their life, things will never get better. Best you can do is walk away. Easier said than done. Yeah, it's definitely easier said than done. It can be extremely difficult. And TikTok, thanks for hanging in there with me. I'll go through and scroll up. Ron says my profile, I look like a goofball and a fishing poke. No partners for me. The only playing it safe. S says the only thing she bought me was a cheap plastic thing from Amazon for $20 and brought over four jars of peanut butter for Christmas. Is that one of your favorite things? Was it at least heartfelt? It's an odd gift unless it's something that is something that you really like. The more heartfelt a gift is, the more it touches our heart. Some people aren't really good with gifts sometimes, but it's one thing. We not. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes no, it wasn't. Huh. Yeah, that can be hurtful, And sometimes too, like when people buy things online, they don't always know the quality too. And sometimes they're like, dang, I bought this gift. I thought it looked a lot more expensive, but yeah, from how much you were investing in her, that can be hurtful. But you got to remember too, she working, so $20 to her is different than $600 to you. So. But regardless of that, is that she was toxic. She was using you. So we have to remember that. Ron says some love gifts, some hate flowers. That gesture may mean nothing to them. Yeah. Yeah, it's all over the board. We're each individuals. There are some similar traits, but there's so many different types of people and all that kind of stuff. S says my family gave her $400 worth of makeup as a gift, and she didn't say thank you. Yeah, there are some people. Does she ever say thank you? There are people who are ungrateful. Other people who. It was interesting when I was down in Tennessee. I was working at a private school, and I was kind of fascinated. These kids didn't say thank you, and really nice kids. They were really sweet. But I was like, this is weird because I thought they kind of were like Southern, and it kind of blew my mind. I'm like, they don't say please or thank you. But and sometimes too, we figure what is rude to us based on our thoughts, our upbringings. So what is sometimes rude to us is not rude to other people, but the fact that she was using you, ghosting you, all that kind of stuff. So that's where it gets tricky. Like, is this narcissistic? Is this crappy? All that kind of stuff. But when you look at the big picture, I'm sorry you went through that. And then she says, we don't even know each other. That's because she wasn't invested in it. We also have to think, like, did she ask you questions? Like, did she try to get to know you? And sometimes that's when we start feeling this emptiness. As we're going through these relationships, we start feeling empty. And so we're trying to fill that void with this other person. And it's a hard balance, because it's hard walking away. And then also when they're in that a little bit more desperate situation, you're like, how do I leave? Like, do I kick her out? She doesn't have any money, doesn't have a job. She's from a different country. She's going to be deported. You start as an empath trying to, problem solve. And then you're just even more invested. I said she never asked me how my day was or what my job was or anything. That's interesting. She didn't ask what your job. Are you saying how your job was? Like, how was your job day at work? A lot of times they will ask what your job is to know how much money you made. And that's why it takes time to get to know people. Sometimes we get so excited about the relationship and we kind of move forward a little too quickly, and they have that little in because they'll use things like, I don't have anywhere else to go, or it could save us money. And be really careful with whatever type of partner you guys are. But for me, it would be a male, to where moving them in do you know for the rest of your life you want this, or do you just kind of look at it's working right now? Debbie says, my therapist told me, Deb, that's not love. It's being addicted to the BS. It's what you are used to from your childhood and the abuse you had. This is, yeah. And sometimes too, though, is, like for me, I wouldn't really say I had abuse. And, I mean, you get your little quirks, parents weren't perfect or something happened at school or whatever. But some people it is. Some people it is. Was your childhood really different? It's not, and you do get addicted. I wouldn't necessarily say. Some people it's used to what they're used to, but not always. Not always. Maybe in your situation, but you guys are great. Feel free to show me that love. Get some more people in here. Hit that like button. And S says, she said, I know you have money, and laughed. And she always wanted to hold my credit card in public. Yeah, was it like a silver card or whatever they are? And would she use it without your permission? Yeah, don't give people your credit card. Just don't. And we just went live for 90 minutes. So give me some love. Keep this going. Jeremy is here. But yeah, sometimes too is like being like a little bit gullible or innocent, to where it like blindsides you. Like, how could somebody be so horrible? Or you want to believe the best, that you don't see it coming, because you're like, I didn't know people did that. And you can protect yourself when you know what is going on. But if it's something out of the blue, how do you protect yourself from that? And the covert, they're so good at hiding things that, how do you prepare for that? It is just like you said, she just left out of the blue. It wasn't, like a regular relationship where you guys are arguing and, throwing little hissy fits, not toxic, but just don't touch me, just leave me alone. And just, where you start falling apart or drifting off, like, no, I need to pursue like my acting career. It's just not going to work here, and you're not going to come with me. So we got to break up. But, as says, I became addicted to giving her money after she broke up with me, and hiding and isolating in the dark in my room and bed. So yeah, that's one thing I want you to notice about you, that you did get addicted to trying to solve the problem. And looking back, when you gave her this money, was it kind of like, she talked to me now and I made her feel good? Or she said, that we can see each other. I got to see her and she looks so beautiful, because you do. And you did that after she broke up with you. So, be careful not to use money to win people back. It can be tempting sometimes, because we're grasping at straws. How do I do this? But if they aren't even with you and you're just giving them money, it's different if you're trying to work on getting back together and having a nice dinner together. But Debbie says, oh, I had abuse. And I'm curious, before I go on S, where did she end up when she left? Because it sounded like you were supporting her. Where did she end up going? Did she go to a friend's house or like a lover's house? She didn't get deported yet, right? Is she still in the country? And what country are you in, if I can ask? You don't have to tell me, but Debbie says, oh, I had abuse sexually, mentally, etc. He said, you run to what you are used to. I knew what he meant. Yeah, there are people who have been SA'd where they start either shutting down, or they could be more promiscuous, seeking that kind of attention. And it's hard, or you'll shut down. But sometimes you take that kind of abuse, or it's like the control thing. So sometimes even if the S-part isn't going on, it's the control. You get maybe a little bit more submissive, because it was maybe safer not to fight. at least in your eyes. So sometimes being submissive, you think just doing what they say is like your comfort zone. It's a survival. Um, Debbie says that's why I'm on my healing journey, and honestly, I'm doing great. I've been talking with Debbie for probably 2.5 years, and she's come a long way. And I love the survivor stories that there is hope. Debbie, when you started like kind of getting over that cusp of when it was like overwhelming and depressing and all that, did you feel like a freedom? It's the weirdest thing, but it's so enlightening. Like you feel like almost like a wave. So if you are struggling, you'll know when it hits you. So you just got to hang in for that. And like I said, there is a spiritual component. That's the one thing I wanted to talk about is, we talk about the body and the mind. So you're doing like your therapy and, inner child work, also eating healthy, getting some exercise, the right kind of sleep. But let me know if you guys would like to go down the spiritual path, because there's something to it. There's something to it. And yeah, I have like two different modes. I have like the secular and then also the spiritual. There's something with the spiritual, I believe. And, I want to help as many people as I can. Not everybody is open to the spiritual part, so I want to be able to help as many people. But hiya, Chuck Russell. Nice to have you here. Hiya, how's your day going? And I love hearing where you guys are from. Feel free to share the live so we can get more people in here. But she lived with other immigrants, okay? She didn't live with me during the week. She had her own place with roommates, and I also helped her secure an apartment. Man, she would say, okay, thank you, and that was it. She lived with other immigrants. And yeah, sometimes that's kind of, in a sense, sometimes like a dating thing, like come over on the weekend. Alabama. Oh, nice. And it's groovy so far. Well, good. I like that. Having a groovy evening. Happy Saturday to everybody. Is this Sunday yet? It is. Oh, dang it. It's Sunday already. But Run says there is something to the spirit. I agree, and I think it's something that should be addressed, because too low. Oh, dang it. Hold on, guys. What the heck does that mean? Start now. 2 viewers. Are you guys in here right now on Facebook? What the heck does that mean? Sorry, I'm troubleshooting. Is anybody on Facebook? Nobles. The frame rate. What is up with the frame rate? How do you change that? Can I refresh it? No. If you guys are watching on, it's not refreshing, 12 FPS. The video bitrate. Do you guys know anything about this? It says cross post to more pages. Why am I having so many problems with Facebook? Sorry, guys. Action needed. The current, please set the frame rate to 15 to 60. How do you do that? How do you do that? Do you guys know? Settings, frame rate. We're trying. I don't know. I'm going to end and relog back in on that. Thank you for your patience on that. I'm going to relog in. We'll see what happens. I've been having problems like with Facebook. Debbie says, I prayed about it, got myself deeper in God's word, and that's why I started my 2 groups. It helps me help others, but in a healing way, not a toxic way. Yeah, and that's true. S says, it's ended. I'm mad about that. I should have seen that. You guys are very patient. Create real. No. Man, this is too difficult. Why is it so difficult? Uh, plus, dang. Uh, live tab. What is this? Gosh. Because I just set this computer up. We'll try it with the phone. We'll try it with the phone. What state am I in, Chuck? I am in Michigan, and we're at 45%. We'll try it there. You're on YouTube? Cool. Okay. But yes, I am in Michigan. Let me catch up with you guys. Found you again. Yes, Scott. Good to have you back. I love it when you guys get back to me. I'm really trying to figure out. I was doing good on Facebook. Really trying to grow the channel. I want to retire so I can do this 12 hours a day for you guys. But you'll see. Okay. This is how long this phone takes. Let's see if it goes quick. I'm not even going to type anything in. But here we go. Let's see. Go live. Of course, this time it goes quick. We'll just put it up here. I don't know. We'll see if it works. Debbie says, SI, you can't reason with a psychopath. Yeah, because is it a narcissist or a psychosocial? And we'll see if people join in, and then I'll put it up better. I don't know what it is with the rate. But Scott, how have you been? And Jessie is here. She said I wanted to control her time and stop her seeing her friends and family, which wasn't true. She loved me and wanted to come over every weekend as well. During the week, I was working and had my own life. I never bothered her. She said it got suffocating. Well, she didn't have to come over. And, good. I got somebody in here. Who is that? I was having problems with Facebook. So thank you. Let me know how it goes. Maybe I just got to, I don't know. I'm like flipping between the phone and the computer. I thought I had it all set up. My mom said it looked okay, but how's Facebook looking? And Debbie said, Run says she gaslit you hard on that. Yeah, because it distorts the reality when you're saying this is what's going on. Like, go spend time with your friends, but can you see me for lunch? And they're like, there you go, suffocating me. And you're like, whoa, that is not suffocating. And she can even say no. Just you asking a question. Sometimes those inner pressures are things that they put on themselves. So if you're like, hey, do you want to go with me for Thanksgiving to my family's? And they're like, geez, you won't let me breathe. And you're like, you could have said no. That's the other thing too with a narcissist, is since they're so self-centered or so triggered, they also are like in reverse. I had that video on a narcissist, and they have like reverse thinking. And it's very difficult to foresee, and they don't get it. So that when you're trying to talk to them, it's either stirring up different pressures when you're trying to say I love you. It's and I try to say it in such a way that when you say but I love you or I'm here for you, like they have a fear of abandonment a lot of times, so they're not going to believe that you're there for them. They're going to think you're manipulating them. And your ex-wife is like that, Scott says. That can be difficult. You're like, I'm trying. What am I doing wrong? They have a different way of thinking. They just do. And if you think about it, let's say I don't believe I'm pretty. Let's just go there, okay? So let's say I'm feeling ugly. And so you're like, oh, you're so beautiful. And if I don't feel it, it might embarrass me. It might make me want to tell you to stop saying that. I don't believe it. Or I might feel that you're being sarcastic. Like, quit saying that. They must be making fun of me, because if I didn't feel it, that you're like, what is the problem? I'm telling you, you're pretty. And it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Just leave me alone. I don't want to hear it again. Just shut up about it, because of their inner beliefs. And so do they believe they're a good person? So when you're like, you're so sweet, I appreciate you, they're like, yeah, right. Because of those, sometimes the thoughts in the back of their head when maybe they're cheating and they know that they're not doing something right. Chuck says, I've been single a long time. When someone asks who I'm with, I say Verizon. I love that. I got to start doing that. Who are you with, Verizon? That is cute. Chuck, thank you for liking the live. And it looks like somebody's here on Facebook. Please let me know how my connection is. I am on 3 platforms, so just so you guys know where I'm talking from, because sometimes it gets confusing. Debbie says, as I find yourself a good therapist that deals with narcissists. Thank you for bringing that up. Definitely make sure they know what is about narcissistic abuse, because otherwise it's going to not be helpful. They're, you know, they have to understand the trauma bond. Remove the glasses. There you go. How's that? Then I can't read. I can't. I wish I could read. I don't like wearing glasses either. um, still getting over my cold. I was sick for 2 weeks. I'll be coughing. But so make sure that they're trauma informed. Kane says, I'm the man and leader of this establishment, and you must obey and comply with my demands. Well, I did it. And now I'm feeling super masculine and aggressive because I obeyed. There you go. There goes a submissive people pleaser in me. So Essa, she was supposed to come over the last weekend, and she said she was going on a last-minute trip with her family, but didn't tell me where or invited me. I told her I was disappointed, but I understand. She never checked in during the trip until the next day, and I told her what's going on. Something seemed off. When she got back, she told me I can't call at night anymore. And when I questioned her, she blocked me off everything, and that's when this whole thing started. Sometimes this is where it gets tricky. She set a boundary. Don't call me anymore at night. So sometimes we're supposed to, respect that. Even if they are a narcissist, this is where sometimes time and in self-reflection, were you calling a lot? Were you possibly calling when she was sleeping? Because that is a boundary she's allowed to set. And sometimes when people set a boundary, it is uncomfortable. And if we give them a hard time on that, but sometimes it's also that red flag. So it gets tricky. So how long was the trip? Was it just a weekend trip? And that's where the expectations, we need to kind of discuss it sometimes. Some people are like, I need my girl weekend and I'll call you on Monday. Sometimes we talk about it, but to just block somebody over that is hard. How late were you calling? Like 8, 9 o'clock, or are we talking like 11:30? Because sometimes that's not necessarily a narcissist. But the other stuff sounds like it. Debbie says, I am a Y person. Yes, be careful with the Ys. Kane says, you will do all the cleaning, laundry, cooking, and grocery. Yeah, I put the glasses back on. I ain't doing the laundry. Scott says, I think with all your words, you need a gray? GL, what's a gray? An older person? I think with all your words, you need, what is great? I don't understand that one. But good evening, Andrew. Morning. Yes, it is morning. S says, no, I wasn't. We called each other every night for a year. So my gut feeling told me something is off because that was our thing. Patterns make a difference, because you could say like, look, I'm working early now. Yeah. Not usually on the weekends, but, if you're like every night it calls you at 9:30 and now you don't want me to, that can be a red flag, a break in a pattern. Unless there's, and usually people will offer that up. I know we talk every night, but I'm going through a health problem and I need to get more sleep. But yeah, something probably was up. 9 to 10 o'clock. If I was in a relationship, I'd be cool with that. But that's kind of on that cusp. Is it starting to get too late? Do we? But yeah, that's a red flag, especially if you've been doing that for a year. Did you ever find out who she really went on the trip with? Or she would call? Would she answer when you called her? Sometimes you can have a relationship with somebody and it seems like it's going well. Not all narcissists are like, dismissive all the time. There's that cycle. They do go through, And if you don't believe me, do they go through a cycle? Look at all the comments of people saying that they went through the same thing, the discard, the devaluation, and then they were idealized again. Ren says, sometimes it's because they were out with someone else. I agree. They're not real loyal. I've seen that they place you on a back burner to explore whatever interest is grabbing their attention. And that is really true. Their attention span, they just want that thrill of the chase or a little escapade, rendezvous. So, yeah, that's definitely a red flag, S. So S continues, no, she told me to never bring it up. That's kind of controlling. After a week, I was blocked off everything and ghosted and broke up with. So when that was going on, did she put that boundary and you maybe just questioned it, which you're entitled, you should be allowed to do that? Or were you still calling her at 9 or 10? Some people have a low tolerance, and it's sad because if there is an investment in the relationship, it doesn't sound like she was invested. And the ghosting part, that's hard. Finish your comments. Hola, buenos dias. Good to have you here. Debbie. You're a why person. Why did this happen? Why? Okay. Thank you for redirecting me. I am a why person. Why did this happen? Why? But my therapist got me looking more at myself, and then the pieces fell together. I don't need to say why. I need to look at myself and see why I'm reacting to it. I did, and I'm good now. Yeah, sometimes, why is this hurting me? Do we feel played? Do we feel this? Do we feel that? What would you say your deepest, sorry, what was the thing that you kind of, and you don't have to share if you're not comfortable, but in hindsight, where you're like, yeah, I either wanted the attention or I wanted to be the caregiver. Sometimes just looking within ourselves. Saludos desde Bolivia. Oh, are you from Bolivia? Saludos. I'm from Michigan, Bolivia. Bueno. Debbie says, I can't help but feel like this is all my fault. A couple of times I yelled at her because she would ignore me or make fun of me and call me rude nicknames. And that's where that reactive abuse comes from. We start acting out of character. And that's why we have a lot of guilt, because we're like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. But like a narcissist, they're not going to be self-reflecting like that. They'll be like, screw you, and they can say some horrible and yeah. And the lesson we get from that is how not to be reactive. And that can be exhausting. I had to learn that as a teacher. You can't yell at the kids. You have to, because if I was to yell at the kids, they're in control. I have to maintain my control by being non-reactive. And that's such an important lesson, guys. Please let me say this again. When we give up our own power, that's allowing the evil to pull us down, to bring us into that evil or lower area. So if we can maintain our control, even if you are in a narcissistic relationship or a healthy relationship, it will keep it at a better pace. When two people are reactive, abusing each other, that's just going to escalate it. So we're going to run into narcissists. We're going to run into psychopaths, sociopaths, dangerous people, but try to stay non-reactive. Try not to take things personally. I've had people say mean stuff to me, and I can either take it to heart or I can, let it roll off my back. And you guys are great. Thank you for sending me the love. Debbie says, he said, it doesn't, what's going on? It doesn't matter what the narc is doing or what he says, why he said, why are you reacting to him? This is about you healing, not him. That's excellent. Yeah. Why are we reacting? Why do we care so much? This person's not even talking to us. Now we're all upset and giving them like our whole day wrapped up in thought and, taking control of our lives back. Because with the ruminating or depression, we're just allowing them to have that power and taking back our power is important. Ron says, my ex-dad, who is Russian, would always say, have no emotions like that. Fix what his daughter was doing. My ex-dad, who was Russian, would always say, have no emotions like, oh, yeah, because becoming emotional isn't going to fix his little girl. I'll agree with that. As says, I ended up having less money after she broke up with me, even though I didn't see her for months. I gave her every cent I worked for. And there's a lesson in that we can't invest in people that aren't investing back. And sometimes people, they might not necessarily. Hi, Miriam. Nice to have you. It's good seeing people back. But, when people aren't investing in us, that's a hard thing sometimes that we have to kind of take a logical look at what we're doing. Sometimes emotions can cloud our wise choices, and you can't stop. Okay, so I noticed. I want to make sure it says ads inserted. I want to make sure that you guys can hear this. So you say, I can't stop ruminating over this. And ruminating is where we're thinking about it over and over again, can't get it out of our head. So I want you to change the way you talk. The way that you stated it, you're helpless. I can't stop. You're kind of putting that in concrete. You can say, I will. Stop ruminating about this. That's taking your power back. If you say, I will do this, I will stop ruminating about it, it's going to take some time, but that's a step, but it's a weird mind shift. But take that power back, claim it. I will stop ruminating. She is not going to be in my mind today. And that's kind of changing your mindset. So our words have so much power. And we feel like I can't do it. I can't. It keeps popping in my head. And if you have that mindset where I can't, you're going to keep being stuck. I don't want you to be stuck anymore. So can you type that for me? I will stop ruminating over this. And you will. You will. It's going to be like, nope, I will stop ruminating. And eventually, it's not going to pop in your mind as much because you have that power back. So can you type, I will stop ruminating about this? Pissed off? Why are you pissed off? Debbie says, I hate to say it, but it sounds like she kept you around for what she could get from you. None of this is your fault. You were just being a nice guy. You were played. And S says, Debbie, she says she gave me more to this relationship than me and used her body. I will stop. Oh, there we go. I love it. Taking that control. I will stop ruminating over this. I will stop checking. Even better. Because when you keep checking social media, sleeve power, what does that mean? Sleeve power. What's sleeve power mean? But yeah, let me catch up. I want to read that. Okay, so you say, I will stop checking her social media and giving her money. Yeah, definitely cut the money off. She's not giving anything. She's not appreciative. And does she even really need it? She's got other people she can have help her through life. She's got roommates. And, she's not even being nice to you. Why are you giving her money? So, yes, stop giving her money. Checking the social media, good. I'm glad you're saying you're going to stop that because that keeps the cycle going. That starts hurting our hurt or keeping us in that cycle. Run says, basically, my ex's dad didn't want me to react to her bad behavior and cheating. He even said to her he expected me to show up to the hospital when his daughter gave birth. Oh, not even my kid. That's right. Not even my kid. So that tells you what he thought of me. His baby daddy never showed up for his child's birth. The baby daddy. Yeah. And you know, as a father, he probably liked you better. Probably wanted you. So is he saying he didn't want you to react? He just wanted you to stay with her? Um, that's crazy. And I mean, it's a choice for you if you show up or not. But yeah, did she really make the right choice? You know, somebody who doesn't even show up when you're having a kid, and yeah, not even my kid. That's, yeah. So Debbie says, no more money. She's using you. When you stop, she'll find another sucker. No pun intended. Deborah. Woo! S says their social media doesn't even look how they do in person. So fake. Yeah, why even bother? Because it's not real. I want to know what sleeve power means. What's sleeve power mean? And you know, they can do fake trips. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're having so much fun. And it's interesting. You'll see certain videos where they're like, and then they break character. Their social media doesn't even look how they do in person. Run says he didn't want me to get into a fight with the baby dad. He even said he's a bad person. Yeah. Some people don't make a good, wise choice. S says, I know I've been a sucker. I never acted this way before in my life. I felt over this for the last few months. And all of this was so wrong. It was wrong, but you know, those feelings, we got to get control over those feelings. They can be serious. So 988 suicide hotline. Hey, totally not Nolan. What's my favorite color? Pink. Pink's my favorite color. But yeah, if the feelings get really bad, really speak to someone. Don't let those fester in your mind, especially if you drink or do some other things that can kind of alter the way that you think, because you need to be in your right mindset when you're struggling with those thoughts. There are so many people that have had the same thoughts as you, but a lot of them are thankful that they didn't go down that path. It just means that the pain is pretty profound, and you don't know the way out. But there is a way out. So I'm completely sober and run for an hour every day. Makes me ruminate and blame myself and go into panic mode. So the fact that you know that, are you able to stay away from that? You know, there are certain things that trigger us, and it's that altered state of mind. So are you strong enough not to do that? Some people, you know, they're like, well, I'm used to it, or it's a nervous habit, or everybody I know does it. You can save some money that way too, you know. But I want you to really consider that, because you know what makes you ruminate, what makes you blame yourself, and it is the cause of your panic mode. It's opening that portal to something extremely dangerous, and those thoughts are terrible to go through anyways, let alone the danger of those thoughts. So you quit doing that after 17 years before I entered the relationship. Oh goodness. So yes, Run says, knowing is half the battle, as G.I. Joe would say. I know. That is definitely saying G.I. Joe. I know. So I'm going to go ahead and log off, though. I wanted to touch in with you guys, but before I log off is you might want to, you know, talk to somebody. Don't let those feelings get out of hand. You know, there's therapists. I do one-on-ones. If you want to email me at cynthia@asoulsurvivor.com for a one-on-one, but 988 suicide hotline, and also, get a support group and stay away from that stuff that's going to cause you to feel that way. Debbie says SI probably has another guy she's playing, not just you. They always have more than one supply who they play for supply. No, here, that won't help you or change anything. Pray about it. Yeah. If you are spiritual, praying, and you have to believe it. You have to have faith. If you just not believing in it, it's not gonna help. You have to believe. You have to trust. Debbie says, as I ask God to help you, He will. And you have to believe it, though, because I have one viewer who struggles with the belief part. She does the praying, but she struggles with the belief part. And you have to trust God's timing. And there are people to help you. So I will log in tomorrow, checking in on you guys. Tomorrow I'll be on a little bit earlier, like 7, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But before I go, would anybody like to say anything? Because I am here for you guys. But if not, I'm going to make maybe another video too before I go to bed. But so nice to have everybody coming back. I'm going to go ahead and log off. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please hit some like buttons. And I'll be praying for you. And you are welcome, Scott. Good to have you here. I will see you tomorrow. So SI, lots of love to you guys. People that are struggling, take your power back. And when you take your power back and you realize your worth, that it's going to change your life. And we'll get there together. Thanks for joining. One-on-ones are available, topic requests, and I will see you soon. Good night, guys. Bye, guys. Thanks.